Yes.
Joe, what's up? Happy Friday, bro.
Oh, 2:30. Okay, so welcome everybody to the special town board meeting of Friday, June 14th, 2024. And Mr. Thompson?
Sure. Councilman Paul Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Jerry Buttar.
Here.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Here.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Here.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Here. So can I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss with counsel on legal matters?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, can I get a motion to come out of executive session?
Motion to get out of executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, we're here today for the special town board meeting as a follow-up to our meeting on Tuesday night regarding the proposed changes to the MOU, which we've been working on diligently since Tuesday night. But before I get there, I did just want to, just in response to some of the comments made both Tuesday night and on social media, I just want to just kind of make a couple comments. So I want to go back to this whole idea that we had these local people and we didn't pick them and they were going to be these great proposals and we didn't pick them. And I went back and I pulled out my proposals and I looked at my notes and I just want to remind everybody. So first was the Precita funding Woodmont Properties. He had a proposal of 180 townhomes, which he reduced to 172, and the hotel. But they only wanted to pay H&A $18 million, which was not something H&A was going to ever accept. Made worse by the fact, on a public Zoom, Billy Precita proceeded to say horrible, horrible things about the Chinese people and H&A. So to be very clear, H&A was never going to make an agreement with Billy Precita. That was never going to happen. The second one was Cook Fox Architects and Atlas Capital, and they had three options. All three of them had a 550 square foot studio building and 140,000 square foot of soundstage and residential components. Notably, their option 3, which we were told was their preferred option, had 300 units in 4 apartment buildings, 70 units in existing North Wing conversion, and 60 townhomes, for a total of 430 units. However, the reason we didn't choose one of the less residential options was because during the interviews with them, we questioned them about the traffic, and they said, by their own admission, that the studio was going to bring in between 1,000 and 1,200 vehicles a day with trucks for stage setup and breakdown. So it was not consistent to have residential with this very commercial use. And I give credit, there was another gentleman who came in with just a studio, and he said, it's not as glamorous as people think. There's a lot of construction with setup, and you know, there's trucks, and there's a lot of people for parking. So people were honest enough that we said, this is just not consistent with the residential component. So again, I'm not knocking any of these projects. They were the final 3, but there was a reason we chose the third option. And so as we sit here today, there's really no reason to believe that Reveal wouldn't have closed back then. But H&A couldn't get out of their own way. They delayed. They came up with a crazy, unreasonable legal request for the contracts. And I know because I sat in on the meetings to determine who was being the problem. And I saw it firsthand, that H&A was just being unreasonable. And they couldn't get responses, and it would take weeks to get back to us. And basically, time went on, and ultimately they lost control of the property to SL Green. And then what happened? It had to start all over again. So it was during this very extended period of time that the facts changed, right? The building, again, we had police calls there, multiple police calls with vandalism, utilities were turned off, oil leak, sinkhole in the driveway, live animals living in the building. And sadly, SL Green personally promised me they would take care of the property when they got it, and they didn't do any. I think they maybe fenced off the driveway. I don't know what they did. They didn't do anything to basically take care of the property. So, the conditions just completely changed, as well as the financial conditions. In fact, we know that because when SL Green took over, I reached out to some of the other people who had made proposals, and they told me the investors were no longer interested. So we know that none of those original proposals were still viable. So it'd be unreasonable for us to expect Reveal to still stand by what they did back 3 years ago. It just would not be for the original terms. It was just not a reasonable thing to do. So I just want to say, I say this because on Monday night, there was some Monday morning quarterbacks coming in here saying the town dropped the ball. And to those people, I want to say shame on you, because this board has done everything. We've spent money and time with the best interest of the people of Palisades at heart. We even started eminent domain, which is something I don't think, I've worked as an attorney for the town, I've been here for 30 years, I don't ever remember this town starting eminent domain, but we took that extreme step to protect this property. So, look, we could have sat back, we could have done nothing, and we could have ended up with having anything in there that's permitted by right. And just so we're all aware what that is, by right, so no need to go to any boards and get permission. They could have had hotels and conferences, of course, schools of general instruction, business, professional, office and research, experimental and testing labs. And that's not without talking about the conditional use permitted. So we could have just sat back and said, you know, let them go get their labs, you know, but we were proactive. So I say to those people, if you think you could do better, by all means, run for the town board. I can promise you that none of these gentlemen up here are doing this for the money they make. They don't get paid enough. They're doing it because they love Orangetown, all of Orangetown, and I don't appreciate comments being made like we're not doing enough. I reject that. So by all means, anyone is welcome to look at the original proposals. I have them. I found my notes. And with that behind us, we will move on to what's happening now. So as we speak, Reveal is attempting to obtain an extension of the time is of the essence closing date for Monday. For those who don't know what that means, time is of the essence means if you don't meet that date, you're in automatic default. They're actually willing to pay more money for the extension. I actually got personally involved this morning. I spoke with someone over at SL Green because I think they were being unreasonable in their request for what they wanted to do an extension. And he came back and he's extended to make some concessions on what he was originally asking for. So as we sit here, they are actually still negotiating, so we don't know if they're going to get it. So in light of that, we're going to go ahead and approve the memorandum of understanding that we've been negotiating on. It will strictly be held in escrow. It will be used at the closing if they close. If they don't close, it's void and of no full, force and effect. So we did get some concessions. I know for some on this board and others, it's never going to be enough, but it's more than we had without it. They have agreed to not flip the property to a not-for-profit entity from 2 years from when they have submitted a complete application for the zone change. So it's putting a little bit of a burden on them to apply and a burden on us to kind of process it without delay. So if within 2 years they do not get approvals and they want to sell it, they can sell it to a for-profit at any time. The not-for-profit, they can't. So after the 2.5 years, if they decide they want to sell it to whoever, we have obtained a right of first refusal. So they would have to come to the town board, and we have a period of 5 years on the right of first refusal. So it's everyone's intention, and I do believe in my heart that Reveal's intention is to develop the property. They want to work with us. They recognize the concerns we have. So, it's a little bit of protection for us. And that's about it on the memorandum of agreement. Is there anything else in there that's of significance to? Again, nothing in this binds the town. Like I said the other night, we can't legally be bound. They have to apply, you have to send it to the county, you have to have hearings, you have to do environmental reviews, So basically it's saying we recognize the changed circumstances from 3 years ago and that we're open to a revised concept plan. And again, nothing in this agreement binds us. Okay, anything else? I think I got it.
No, I think you hit everything. On the right of first refusal, it's going to be in a covenant, which will be filed in the county clerk's office, and it's for a period of 5 years. If anybody makes an offer to purchase the property, they have to come to the town, and basically the town has a right to match the offer, provided it's a legitimate offer, and so that's for a period of 5 years from the date that Reveal acquires the property.
And the only thing I would say is it's private property, so if they really wanted to sell it without the MOU, they could do that, correct? I mean,
They could go and, they could, if they were to close on Monday without this MOU, there's no restrictions on who they're going to sell
no
to.
restrictions at all, so we did good at least negotiating some, in my opinion.
Okay, so we can go ahead and move on that, and vote on that? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the amended and restated memorandum of understanding? And I'm just going to read from the last part. Basically, I believe I'm only authorized to sign it after we received the assigned agreement by reveal, and that it's going to be held in escrow, and basically will only be released upon the closing of the property to reveal. And if they don't, it becomes null and void. Okay, so can I get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Do you want a roll call? Are you good?
Good.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The second resolution is for a tax certiorari, which, for this property, which is related, and the same is going to apply. H&A and SL Green have been challenging their taxes for many, many years at this point. The parties had agreed, had negotiated, and by the parties, I mean our assessors and our appraisers, on a tax settlement. At the last minute, I'll say, SL Green came up and said they wanted a little bit of a better deal than had been negotiated, and it's going back maybe 3 months, 4 months ago, I'm trying to think when it was. So this is another one that we've talked to our tax assessor. He said, again, the property continuing to fall into, it's basically assessed upon the condition of the property as it is, and it's continued to get worse. So, would we do better in tax court? It's anyone's guess. But, he feels this is fair considering the condition of the property. Again, this will only kick in, for lack of a better word, when they close or reveal. If they don't close or reveal, this document is out, and we can continue to fight about the taxes and litigate it. So it's, I got it all, Mr. Town Attorney?
Yes, I believe so.
We've
but-
been eating and sleeping this for so many days, it's like we know what's in here, but.
Yes, I believe so. Yes, I'd ask that the resolution go ahead and be passed. I'm adding, I think, any documents related to the resolution shall be held in escrow similar to the other, and also just confirming with the tax assessor on the numbers, but we're good to go.
Okay. And, this still has to be approved by the school district. They have been involved, and they are good with it, but they still have to meet and do that. So, so can I get a motion to approve, authorize the town attorney to sign the settlement on the tax certiorari proceeding regarding the H&A Training Center?
I'll move that.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so unless anybody else has any other,
No, even with the tax thing, the property's declining, so the more it declines, the more they have a case. But once it's built, it'll be a good tax. So hopefully, it's going to turn around and become a big plus from a big negative quickly.
from your mouth to God's ears. Okay, on that, so I'll take a motion to close?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for coming, and have a good weekend, everybody.